Is this working? Asks the speaker. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. After almost 50 years experience in this market of foams and polyurethane, you end up discovering that discoveries are no longer possible. What we have is perfectioning of technologies or improvements. We recently conducted a research and discovered that there are about 800 farm producers in the country in the most diverse conditions, most diverse equipment, and producing foam, in my opinion, is a matrix of 50 equations with 50 variables. So we will find 800 possible conditions, and what works for one not necessarily will work in the other producer.
Mas a Quimica Anastácio é uma empresa que tem mais de 80 anos de existência.
More than 80 years
Ela começa no mercado com
started in the
fabricação de
market,
glicerina.
producing
E nós
glycerin.
estamos aí,
And
nesse tempo todinho, nós vivemos uma
this
época
whole
de
time
regime militar, por exemplo.
we passed through the military regime that was
Se alguém
a
no
law
Brasil fabricasse,
that
você não
if
podia importar.
anyone produced in Brazil, you
30
cannot
anos,
import.
até o Collor, Fernando
So,
Collor, por incrível
up
que
to
pareça, o grande
30
presidente
years,
Fernando Collor,
up to Fernando
acabou com essa
Collor,
lei
the
e
Mello
nós podemos
president,
começar a
he
importar.
banished this
Você só
law,
tinha as opções de
and
poliol na
we
Química
could
e de
import.
TDI na Pronoc, depois foi
And we
comprada pela
just
Dow.
have the polyol and TDI
Nós fomos
options too,
obrigados a
polyol
diversificar
and
muito nesse período
TDIs.
todinho,
And we
criar
were
algumas
able to,
coisas,
we
usar
had to diversify a lot,
polióis vegetais,
use vegetable
aquilo que fosse
polyols,
possível.
whatever what was possible.
Então, a Química Anastácio começa
So
fabricando
Quimica
glicerina
Anastácio
vegetal.
started
Eu não
by
dos poucos
producing
fabricantes do
vegetable
Brasil.
glycerin.
E a característica da época é que o
And at
consumo
that
era bom,
time,
saudades dessa época. O
I
consumo era
really
grande.
missed those times because we had a huge consumption
Vendia facilmente.
and it was easy to sell the
Vendia facilmente,
product
pelo preço que queria. Aliás, os preços eram
regardless of the
simpáticos,
price.
então esse processo era fácil.
So it was
E a Química Anastácio
easy to
começa com a
work,
produção de
and our
glicerina
company
vegetal.
started producing vegetable
Mas no final da
glycerin.
década de 90,
However, in the 90s, at the end of this
dos
decade,
diretores da Anastácio,
one of the directors
modifica a
of the
sistemática da
company
empresa e
has
faz
really
distribuição de
changed
produtos,
the way
tá?
we worked, and we
Anastácio
started
hoje
to
um dos
distribute products.
5 maiores
And we
distribuidores
now
do
are
Brasil, se não for
one of
maior,
the,
tá?
we are
Esse
among the
setor
5th
da
largest
empresa, né,
distributors in
grande
Brazil
distribuidor também.
in the
A
PU
opção nossa,
segment.
depois de tudo isso que eu falei, é o seguinte, 800 fabricantes.
And
800
we have
condições
800
diferentes de fazer
manufacturers,
isso.
different
O que a gente
ways of
oferece
manufacturing
a
foam.
mais,
What is our
o que ela
differential?
pode oferecer a mais
What
para os seus
can we
clientes.
offer to our
Assistência
customers?
técnica especializada, tá?
Specialized
Poder recomendar-
technical support.
recomendar para vocês
So I can
qual é o
recommend
melhor equipamento,
what is the best equipment for
qual é
you,
o melhor produto,
or the best
as novidades
product,
que tem em termos de
what is
espuma,
new
uma
in
espuma
terms of
viscoelástica,
foam,
uma
viscoelastic,
espuma
or
HR, uma espuma super
HR,
soft.
or
As
super
espumas
soft,
convencionais,
conventional foams,
as diversidades de fabricação, de necessidades
different
são
manufacturing
muitas, tá?
process, we have different needs,
Então, só para vocês
and
terem
that's
uma
why
ideia,
we offer
há
this
30 anos atrás
so
nós
specialized
fabricávamos
technical
densidade
support. 30 years
6,
ago,
tá?
density 06 was really the one that we saw mostly in the market,
Eu deitava uma noite lá, ficava a marca dele no colchão
but
direitinho.
the quality was not
Mas
good.
ainda hoje se faz alguma coisa disso,
But
tá?
still we
7,
find
8
this type of
E
density
metro
7
mesmo,
and 8 in the market.
para tentar melhorar essa
And we have
noção,
now an
essa
institution
necessidade
called
que a gente
Inmetro
tem de bom
that was
colchão.
created to try
E
to
ele
improve
conseguiu
the quality of
não tem
foams
grandes
used in
condições
mattresses,
de fiscalizar,
but
de
still not possible to
proceder, mas
surveil our companies.
ele, de certa
However,
maneira, ele
Inmetro
levou a densidade média de colchões.
helped us to achieve a mean or
O que a
average
gente se propõe?
density.
A gente se propõe a poder acompanhar o
What we
cliente
want to
na
do is to
necessidade
help
dele.
our customers
Qual o
and
problema
see
dele?
how we can help
Às vezes,
them
for
solve
necessário, até
their
pessoalmente,
problems.
na-
We can
na
even
fábrica deles.
visit
Na minha
the plant.
carreira, são quase
In my
50 anos
career,
em
after
produção de
almost
espuma.
50 years dealing
Eu
with
tive em quase
foams,
todo lugar do planeta,
I've been
quase todo
everywhere.
planeta.
and I've seen all
Eu
sorts
digo
of
sempre pro
equipment,
pessoal o seguinte, eu aprendi quase tudo,
and I've
porque eu
learned
já estou esquecendo tudo.
so much that I'm already forgetting.
É simples, tá?
But it's not that
Simples não,
difficult, actually.
complexo.
I would say that it's
Fazer espuma
at the
não é
same time
simples, não.
complex and simple when we deal with foams.
qual uma das grandes necessidades que você tem hoje?
One of our biggest needs right now is information.
E os meios disponíveis são vários.
And we have
tá?
several ways of disseminating information. We can also provide you with
O que
information.
você faz por aí?
What are people doing? What is being used?
Uma grande dificuldade que você encontra no setor
It may be difficult in the segment
como ele chama?
to know what the customer is doing and what is his name. And the name doesn't always reflect what the customer is doing. So if we're dealing with a D33 foam and then you check the formula, it's not even 20, but he uses the name 33. So you have to understand customer needs to be able to
A
help.
necessidade dele. O que é um HR?
What is HR, for
Você vai encontrar
example?
monte de gente
A lot of people
pretende fazer o que faz um
intend
HR,
to
mas ele
manufacture HR and use the name HR. But if you check the standard to see what is 50,000 minimum sealant, and a lot of people cannot achieve that. And we can really help you to achieve your goals. So we can provide instructions so that you can improve your product. And that's our role at Anastácio. We can sell the products, but I think where we make a difference is in technical support, in providing instructions, saying what to use, for what, and when. This is a picture that summarizes what we intend to do at Anastácio. Manufacturing foam requires some basic concepts. You need to be able to interpret your market. We sell not only raw materials but also ideas, telling you what to do, how you can do it. And when you sell ideas, you also tell the customer what he will need to put it at your stage. I've had a mattress factory for 20 years. It's not easy, it's not simple. And again, I'd like to repeat that when we had the military regime, we had more demand than we could supply. And now we have the opposite situation. A lot of supply and not much demand. So we have to be creative. Entrepreneurs need to be competitive. It's not only about being bold. You have to do things well to be competitive, and this is not easy. Our product line, we have polyols, isocyanates. Whenever we talk about PUs, we're talking about polyols and isocyanates. The other compounds, copolymers, was introduced in 1990. In Brazil, we have a concept that tells that a good foam is a hard foam. But this is not true. This is only in Brazil, maybe in Latin America. In Europe, the minimal density would be around 38. And not much copolymers are used. If we ever get the chance to test 33 density foam, 40 density foam, 45, these foams are too rigid according to in-metro standards. So these mattresses will be too hard. We have this concept of orthopedic mattress, and the person who created this concept for sure was not an orthopedist. It may have been like ophthalmologist, I don't know. And we are all different. People are different. What is good for you, the mattress you like, will not necessarily be the one I like. And pillows are the same. So you have to bear these concepts in mind. If I'm going to sell a mattress, what type of foam? 45 density will be too hard. I'd rather sleep on the floor. And we offer these alternatives. Polyols, we have dozens of polyols, almost a dozen different isocyanates. We have conventional foam, other types of foam, blowing agents. If you have a low density, you would need to use chloride. Maybe in the flexible foam segment, you need formiate, methylau or something like that. HFO may be the blower of the future. The only problem is that it's too expensive. I don't know if this equation will be balanced out in the future, but the price of HFO is really high right now. And we have methylene chloride, that's $1 a kilo, and the other products $20 a kilo. So the comparison is really, really impressive. It's not feasible to work with that product.
Auxiliares de processo são os silicones, as aminas.
Other things that can help the processes are the silicones and amines. We have two different catalysts that are very important to use in foams. Amines and organometallic catalysts. Dibutyl dilaurate, in the case of tin, TCPP, is a flame retardant. We have other flame retardants, and this is also an advancement in the market. In California, for example, you can no longer use fluor-based flame retardants or hydrogenated flame retardants. In California, they are specialists in creating difficulties. But you have to bear these details in mind. In the future, we won't be able to use this product, so I will have to find at some point an alternative. Additives, I would rather use the word facilitators. They are not fantastic products, nothing like that. But they make your work easier. And like I said, we are dealing with a matrix with a huge number of unknown variables and equations, and some variables can be defined that will be good for us, and that's what we try to do. We try to develop additives based on customers' needs, what they want to do, what they intend to do. Silicones, I'm sure you've heard a lot about silicones. And they have two different functions. They are curing agents and stabilizers. But it cannot be good for both at the same time. A structuring agent and stabilizers. So silicone manufacturers have to deal with both functions. High densities need to be structured and low densities need stabilization. So most products are an average between both. You may have heard of a silicone that's good for high density and one that is good for low density. It means that one is a little bit better than the other, depending on what you want to use it for. And this relationship, we have to remember some market needs. Anastácio uses different names for products, trying to be as objective as possible. Viscoelastic polyol is named exactly viscoelastic polyol. MDI carboimine is exactly the same. The name is exactly the same. So we are very objective when it comes to naming our products. We don't say like elastopol or whatever. We just call polyol 56 hydroxyl, etc. Anastocola. That will be an adhesive, which is a prepolymer, and it's used to manufacture several products. Sometimes there is a demand. Somebody says, "Well, I need an adhesive for foam." What is an adhesive for foam? Is this to have an agglomerate or to combine several layers. So this range of products, polyol 6535 was the only resource we had in the past before we had the copolymeric polyol on the market to harden our foams with a better quality than we can achieve using a copolymer. When you try to improve a property, you're going to make another property worse. CDA 6535 improve some properties and without, worsening any others. And this is not true for copolymers. It can improve one or two properties, but other properties will be affected in a negative way. And this is our role, and to tell you which of these products you could use in a formula and what will be the effect. It can improve this and then can have a negative impact on that. What do you need? And this is our role. This is my role. We as technicians working in this segment, all you have to do is to solve problems. We all face problems when we manufacture things, and we can help you. At a certain age, I think what we can do is to help others, and this is what makes us happy, so we can be helpers, if you will. That's what we try to do, we try to help you. We try to understand your needs, and we would like you to tell us what you need. This is what we intend to do to help you. These are some examples of silicones. We have different types of silicones, and you can use them all. But some will be better for certain types of foam. 3370 is very good for hypersoft foam, but you could use it. And different products going to be more difficult. You're going to need to correct things. When you modify a silicone, you're probably going to have to correct your catalyzation process. The margin of work of amines is really wide, but if you or tin octoate is not the same, and you're going to have to correct some factors if you use tin octoate. So if you move from one silicon to another, this will require corrections, and this is what we do. We tell you what you have to do, what will be the easiest way. But possibilities are many when it comes to silicone manufacturing. They are made from polysiloxane and different proportions. And the type of siloxane can be different also, and the types of pickles. We have hundreds of alternatives, and they can all be used. All you have to do is to adjust the formula, and for that you need technical support. This name DAPCO, that's the first catalyst that was developed for PU. With the amine diethylene. And the chemistry is interesting. It now a commercial brand, a brand from Air Products. And these are all the details that we must understand. 30, 40 years ago, we had two manufacturers in the world of diethylene amine. One in the US, one in Japan. And now I think we have 20, 30 only in China. And the same thing happens with polyols and isocyanates. We have 10, 12 global manufacturers, and now we have 70 only in China. And whenever we see the word DAPCO, this is a brand name, Mavonic, one of the companies we represent, and this is the name. There is not a concern with global warming, ozone layer, and this is not always taken seriously. I myself could not tell you what extent things work or do not work or can be avoided, cannot be avoided. And the non-nickel arming, as this Asia talk, probably will be the future of the market. How long to get there, I cannot tell you. If it's going to be next year, in 10 years' time, if we're still going to be around, that long, I couldn't say. But these are amines with different characteristics. We have one with block action. What would you use it for? If you have a fast screen point or a large number of bubbles in a foam, this type of amine will be helpful. Myself in particular, for 20 years, I was the owner of a company which manufactured amines, and I can tell you that this is the less important ingredient in foam manufacturing. You can manufacture a foam block with 50 grams of amine, 100 grams of amine, 200 grams, 300 grams. It varies a lot, and the difference is not going to be big. So this margin is really wide when it comes to amine. Tin octate is different. In this case, you have to be very careful to see what are the characteristics that the block is obtained. And in some places, the temperature, like Santiago de Chile, you may have 6 Celsius in the morning, and lunchtime you have 22 Celsius. At 5 p.m., it's 10 Celsius. So throughout the day, you have to increase and decrease the tin proportion, and the technician has to really keep an eye on the procedure and the process to see what's happening. We talk about northeast Brazil, where we have hot temperatures. It's hot, but the temperatures don't vary much. Too hot is 32, too cold is 22, so the variation is not too big. So it's easier to work with tin in areas like this. And we must understand what tin octate is used for. People think that's for the height of the foam block, but it's not true. And again, I would like to say that those who work with foam manufacture have to be careful, check the equipment. You have continuous equipment. It always works. But it's not true. It doesn't always work. It doesn't matter how good the technology is, you have to pay attention while you're working. Otherwise, you may have problems. You may have problems with reactivity. The technician really has to pay attention and correct whatever is going wrong. And this is our role. This is what we want to do.
So our goal is to be the technical assistance for a foam producer. WT2, tin dilaurate. It is to improve a foam. Whenever we talk about catalysts, this word emerges in chemistry, but currently is used. Catalyst is an accelerator. So whenever we talk about a catalyst, we are talking about acceleration. Tin dibutyl dilaurate or tin octanoate in a conventional form. This here catalyst facilitator, they help to achieve a certain effect. Nastoflex, Noxtocola is these are all pre-polymers. Usually we use this to produce agglomerates. The ortegol line, Evonik ortegol line, is the same situation as the Nastoflex. They help the process. So if you need a softer foam or a static additive, one of them will serve for your case. And Tegocolor are pigments. Another phase of my life, I also produced pigment. So what is the function of a pigment? Identify density. For instance, yellow foams, or for automotive foams that has to be black. It's just that. You can identify density, and you can use 50 grams. Everyone has a different standard. This is what Anastácio offers. We have labs where you can develop your foams, and we can analyze your foams. What are the properties, if they fulfill your needs. It's very common to go to a foam manufacturer. Someone press a foam and says, oh, it is hard. Does this person has a dynamometer at the hands? If you press with a right hand, you feel something. If it is with the left hand, it's something else. So we have this lab to help our customers. We can do the tests. In metro standards, the Brazilian standard agency adopted by polyurethanes are the norms defined by Brazilian Standard Norm Association for polyurethane foams. I took part in the meetings to define these norms, and they are based on the ASTM from Europe. So our norms are actually based. I don't know if in European ones, I don't know if they are the best, but this is what we have. This was decided by a group of technicians. We may also offer training and labs, Evonik labs. We distribute Evonik material. They are really modern and wonderful and are available to our customers if you want to have a training. And I always say, well, are you a chemist? No, I'm a chemical engineer, which is different. We talk of engineering with chemistry, and chemistry with engineers, and we are all together. We talk about soccer. So what is the difference between what you learn in chemical engineering and chemistry about foam? Nothing. I don't even know if they mentioned polyurethanes. You end up learning in your daily practice. And when do you improve? As the many blocks, the more the foam blocks you produce, the better you get. You only learn to find problem solutions when you have problems. So the more blocks you produce, more you learn. Theoretical knowledge will provide you the necessary basis. If you have no idea of what you're doing, another comment I make is producing foam and chemistry and engineering is an exact science. It's a hard science. It has nothing to do with the moon or with your mood. If you have a basic training, you are able to see the explanation, to understand. Constant innovation. When the ISO 9000 system for quality control started to be implemented before the end of the 90s, they increased the name. It became ISO 9000 of continuous improvement, which has to be anyone's objective for life, always improve. When I was doing engineering 50 years ago, we were looking for processes for a total reuse, which was utopic. And now it's already past. The thing now is total use. Reuse is rework with a higher cost and lower quality. Constant innovation, which is technology is always evolving in geometric progression. So, for instance, from machinery producers, every year they improve a detail. So, this information we can present. What is being used in the market? Oh, now there's a new solution. Maybe that's it, but this is what the future holds, and we are having to accept. This is our function. Technical visits, whenever I visit your operations, please, coffee. I'm addicted to coffee. Product recommendation. Sometimes, something that I used to say, any sector of industry, cost and quality go hand in hand. If you want a better quality, you have a higher cost. If you want a lower cost, you have a lower quality. You go to a company, you can do a very good form with this and that, but how much does it cost? Well, I cannot pay for it because this is not for my market. So let's try to analyze and look for what you need, because what you're looking for is not quality, it's price in this case. Technology transfer. Technology transfer make us, you can only have it with information. I cannot buy continuous batch machinery and to anyone, but I can give you information. Who manufactures, where does they manufacture, how much does it cost. In Ecofarm's booth, I saw a looper. They will start to produce loopers for machined foam. You can cut the foam in the growth direction. Usually it is in the opposite direction. So this will improve the quality of your foam already. Complaints, training. It is my colleague. I'm a little bit more deaf. I don't understand that much the complaints. He is better than me. Then he will ask me. But hotline. I can give my phone to anyone. You can call me anytime. I like to talk. I have many stories to tell. And I can tell you who will win the Grand Prix next week, who is best in the Brazilian Soccer Championship. Well, and I will leave my contact. You can reach me directly. So personalized attention. Well, you produce a D6. When you sleep one night, the mark will be there. Tailor-made solutions. If I go to your company and the conclusion is that your foam has to be in a certain way, I will tell you, when you have a foam machine at hand and the raw material, you can do whatever you want. If you want to produce D6, you do. If you want to do a D6 mattress, you can do it. It's your own will. You will respond for it later, but you can do whatever you want. And we can help you, including with the D6 production. You will go to jail, but we can help. Total support that go much beyond chemistry. We can talk about football, soccer, car races, religion. I don't like that much, but we can talk about it.
Of course, with breather, I'll just mention briefly, it is available in polyester nylon.
Well, you see that I just reading the last line. So process and formulation adjustment. I believe I have like a 30 notebooks of processes. They have no order, dynamics, or didactics, and probably other 30 that are thrown in the trash can. But formula adjustment we do like 3 times a day. Sometimes someone from the Northeast or on the Amazon calls me with a picture and send me a picture of a fissured block and ask me, what is that? I said, it is a fissure, it's a crack. I don't know. Is it your equipment? What can I tell you? It is a crack. But there are other examples. Once a customer called, oh, I'm doing cylindric blocks. The first one is good, the second one is good, the third, it cracks, and the fourth cracks, fifth, it cracks. So what do I have to do? 2 blocks a day. Oh, I'm producing a block, and the bottom part is good, from half of it to the bottom, and from the top it cracks. So what do I do? Half block. So if you don't know the formulation, if you don't know the equipment, what can you tell? You can only guess. When I started 50 years ago, sometimes I'm concerned to say that I started 50 years ago because people will think, oh, this guy is too old. It is true, I'm old. 50 years ago, 1 month after working, I saw that 90% of foam problems are due to silicons and tin. 50 years later, I can tell you 90% of the problems are tin and silicon. This is my conclusion, and I reached the conclusion 50 years ago. So tin adjustment is key. This is the day-to-day of a foam maker. And industrial tests depend on your capacity, what you have in hand. There are people with equipment just for 10 cubic meters. As technicians, the first block is always a guessing. And you are a better technician when you have educated guesses. But the first guessing, the first block will always be guessing. And I call it gross tuning. You do a gross tuning and then you start to go into fine tuning. And as a technician, there are some here, there are technicians for many years. You have 2 shots, but usually you have just 1 bullet. If your test is not good, so long. And when you're a little bit better, you have 2 bullets. And we are here to help you. Fast answers. This remembers me the story, the guy that went to the HR department and was asked, what is your quality? I'm very fast in accounts. What is 2,000 times 200? It's at 7. But it's wrong. Yes, it's wrong, but it's fast. Well, there are fast answers and right fast answers. So after mobile invention, we can no longer live without it, but we can have fast answers but wrong answers. Training We have people specialized in training. The difference is that we have the practical experience. And these are the difficulties. Adapt to the process of each customer, because there are about 800 manufacturers and usually 800 different formulas. Tropicalize the new technologies it's a beautiful wording, and it means we have some marketing elements. For instance, NASA pillow. NASA produced rockets, not pillows, and they do not need it there. NASA probably had a need of a farm that in the beginning it was called slow memory, for someone that spent 1 month sitting in a chair in there, and then it became orthopedic mattress. Who made this was not an orthopedist. Something we see, green seals. We produce with bamboo fabric. It has 2% bamboo. We use renewable source polyol. It's 4%. And you put a green seal, so it is a green wash. Marketing is amazing. Optimizing production processes. As I said, always seek continuous improvement and total use. We can help you with that. Again, complaints. Whenever you have something to complain, it is Roberto, not me. Well, we are technical department, so anyhow, he will call me. When I have any doubt, I send it to him, so that we have a good symbiosis. Well, and this is my phone. You can call me Bira. Thank you for your attention.